This is today's mystery meat. Now be honest, I've cooked a few times in my life, and one thing that I learned from it is that I love it. It is not only extremely delicious, but tender, fatty, and everything that you look forward in beef. Just in case you are wondering, yes, it is Wagyu, so there's a hint. I am super excited to find out how it's gonna taste dry-aged. Have you been able to find out what it is yet? If you did, put it in the comments down below and let us know. As you can see, holding it up on my hand, the front looks extremely different from the back. It's almost like a fatty snake. However, to get this into my dry ager, all I have to do is to put it on a cooling rack, and into my dry ager it goes for 35 days. Once the time was up, I took it out and take a closer look. It completely changed color on me. I've dry aged a lot of things in my life, but never this. When we take a closer look, it almost reminds me of porcupine. But like I previously mentioned, this thing is delicious, and let me show you why. The first thing to do is to remove this part. And as I did, take a closer look. Come on now, doesn't this remind you of something? Yes, Japanese Wagyu A5. The next step is to go ahead and cut it in smaller pieces. The tip, on the other hand, does not have a lot of marbling. At the same time, you are able to see that the protective layer protected the meat. And as I take more slices, you can see where the marbling starts to show. The more I get closer to the back, the more you can see. The amount of intramuscular fat on this is ridiculous. That is one of the reasons this cut of meat is fantastic. Because let me show you how I like to prepare it. The first thing to do is to put it in a pot. Take it outside and let it boil for 1 hour. You can leave it anywhere from 2 hours to 3 hours. Now, to have a true comparison, we have to try a real one that was not dry aged. And as you can see, this one here has a complete different color. Could it be because maybe it was an albino? Let me know in the comments down below. Now, to ensure that there is no variation between them, I'm using the same exact process. First, cut out the tip and slice everything into small chunks. Put it in a pot, fill it up with water, and let it boil for 1 hour. That was perfect because it allows me time to go ahead and make an incredible sauce. And this one is super flavorful and very easy to make, and here's how. Into boiling water, I threw in some tomatoes, followed by some tomatillos, white onions, 1 habanero pepper without the seeds, and a wonderful blend of dried chilies. As one important thing you have to remember is to take out the tomatillos after 2 minutes. Then the next thing is to let it boil for 5 minutes. If you want to remove the skin from the tomato, now is the time. Because once the 5 minutes was up, all I had to do is to throw everything into the blender. Then I added some raw garlic, followed by a little bit of salt and freshly ground black pepper. Closed it up and blend everything on high until it was fully processed. Because once I have done so, my sauce is ready. It does not get any easier than that, my friends. And I'll be honest with you, it is delicious. This thing is just perfect for any meat. Talking about that, this is what our mystery meat looks like after dry aged and boiled. Now I gotta be honest with you, it does not look that appetizing, and that's because of the outer skin. It has to go. There's zero flavor in there, and it's kinda chewy. Once I was done with the trimming, you can clearly see how soft this thing is. I mean, come on now. There's no way that this is not gonna be delicious. Because the next thing to do is to go ahead and chop everything up. Now I'm gonna be making tacos out of this, so I like my taco meat to be nicely finely diced. Once I was done, this is what I was looking for. Perfectly dry-aged mystery meat that should taste incredible. Just so you can see the differences, check it out how this one peels easily. It is the way it's supposed to be. Talking about that, once I chop this one up as well, the next thing to do is to go ahead and finish it. For that, I got a little bit of Wagyu fat into the pan and threw the dry-aged meat in there. I want to get a nice little brownie on it and season it. For that, I'm using a little bit of garlic paste followed by shallots. And we can't forget about salt and pepper. Mix everything well and cook it for about 2 minutes. As once I have done so, my mystery meat is now ready. A little bit of parsley for presentation, and this is the end results. Honestly, it smells fantastic. Don't believe me? Well, you just wait and see. Because remember, I still have the regular one as well, which I treated exactly the same. But if you notice the difference, this one yielded a lot more. The dry age one, not so much. But now the only thing left to do is to go ahead and finish it off for tasting. So I went ahead and toasted up my tortillas. Then I added that wonderful, beautifully cooked meat, followed by that red sauce we just made. A tiny bit of Mexican crema right on top. We can't forget about white onions, some fresh cilantro, and to finish it off, some pickled onions. Now this does not only look incredible, but it smells amazing. It's absolutely mouth-watering to me. However, I never had it dry-aged, so I'm really curious to find out if there's going to be any big differences or not, as everything now is fully ready for tasting. So now I say it is enough talking and it is time to eat.